All right, so what we are going to be talking about today is playing pretend in the world of business. A lot of agents that I talk to, myself included, I'm so guilty of everything we're going to talk about, even now. So I have to really frame it and keep it in my mind. What they do is they pretend to be a business owner. And what I mean by that is they may be doing one or two things that propel their business, but they're not doing everything they need to be doing. Or they may do everything they need to do, but they do it one time a week. And so what this is framed around is how can we consciously make sure that we are working our business like a business? We are business owners, and this ties into that, and that's going to help a lot. So the first thing that we go over is just some self-reflection. So results are not random, right? If you are getting consistent results, it's not because of some random luck, some random action that you took. It's because you were very intentional. So the three things I want everybody watching this right now to look at is, number one, are you expecting a full-time income without putting in the work to earn that? That's very important to think about, because a lot of times we think we're working really, really hard, when in reality, we're not working at a pace for the income we're expecting. So being very, very mindful and self-criticizing about that aspect is very important. It's okay if the answer is no. That is okay. And it's okay if you got into real estate because you didn't want to work full-time hours to make a full-time income. That's okay. What we're going to talk about in this is why it's important to know starting out, or when you start to plateau or you get stagnant, complacent, going back to this question will help motivate you again. Number two, are you intentional every day in your business? What I mean by that is, are you intentionally waking up every single day with a game plan in mind for how you're going to be successful, what your day is going to look like? Are you being intentional in your interactions with everyone? Are you being intentional when you answer the phone and it's a lead and they say, oh no, sorry, we don't need help right now? Are you being intentional in your approach to that? Or are you just being complacent and accepting it? And then number three, have you realized that you are the driving force behind your success? A lot of times, this question helps ground me. And the reason being is I will get very unmotivated, burnout, and I notice, I'm like, wait, I'm not going to keep going if I don't keep driving this, right? The goal is, in the beginning, is to drive your results and get to a point and build to a point where that you can step back and help others do that too. So let's get right into it. Starting out, what I want you guys to know is it's important for you to realize that when you're starting out, you're responsible for your success. And so what this slide says is, imagine that you are responsible for baking a cake, right? And you put every ingredient in there, but you're out of one or two ingredients. You're still going to be able to bake a cake, and the results may be edible. Doesn't mean it's going to be the best cake that you've ever made in the world, and it may not be an edible. You may have to throw it out. It could be hard as a rock, have no taste, be dry, you never know. And then I like to translate it into, imagine that you're building a car engine, but you leave one part out. What's going to happen is you may make it halfway through your journey before you break down. You may make it the whole way before your engine blows, or it may never start. So that's important, because you have to put in the work for every single ingredient. You cannot just do one or two things and think the other three things are not important. With business, it's every single day in every single area. I want you to think about this as this slide says. Think about huge corporations. They have marketing departments, they have call centers, they have accounting departments, they have human resources. And these are departments where there are single employees making full-time salaries for just that one area. And when you're starting out, or when you're wanting to grow, you have to remember and focus on the fact that you have to be all of these areas. It doesn't mean that you're going to be dedicating 40 hours a week to marketing, 40 hours a week to calling, 40 hours a week to accounting, but there should be some part of each of those things in every single day of your business. So the 5 departments in real estate that I personally found are important to focus on every single day, no matter what you do, are your marketing, your lead generation, your follow-up calls, your accounting, and your education. So we're going to dive in. Marketing, what does that look like? Creating content. You want to be constantly putting something out there on your business pages daily. If you are what I call inconsistent with your social media, people forget about you. So you want to stay top of mind. You want to create meaningful content, right? We don't want to just share a post from Zillow. We don't want to just put a squeeze page out there and say, hey, go check out this. Marketing, building your brand. How do the people in your sphere of influence and the people in your communities know who you are? What stands out about you? That's number one in marketing, build your brand. Stay out front and center. It goes with creating the content, building your brand. You want people to know who you are, remember that you're an agent, and recommend you and use you as much as possible. Social media and blogging are going to help with all of this. So you need to make sure that you're really, really diving into those things. The next one is lead generation. Your landing pages, calling for sell-by owners and expired, squeeze pages, building ads on Google, kvCORE, Nextdoor, Facebook. This is completely different from marketing because this is what's going to generate immediate results, and that's something you need to be working on every single day. Follow-up, putting the marketing and ads to work. Call the leads that come in. A lot of times we get very fearful about picking up the phone and calling, but I guarantee you're going to get more out of a phone call than you will out of a text message or an email. So don't be fearful and push through that fear. Setting up your drip campaigns. So you're going to call some leads and they're not going to answer, but you want to make sure we're not forgetting about them. So drip campaigns are very important. And each and every day going through your database and touching people. I don't care if a lead told you we're not ready to buy for 6 or 12 months. You need to be touching them some way. We have Thanksgiving coming up. So what we want to do is touch all of the leads in our database and make sure that they get a happy Thanksgiving. We have, everything going on with the elections and stuff. You don't necessarily have to bring politics into it, but it can be, hey, with the way the world is right now and COVID and everything going on, I just wanted to reach out and see if you're doing okay. I know that you're not ready to buy a house right now, but you are on my mind. Setting up property alerts and market updates. It's not enough that you're calling. It's not enough that you're touching. You need to make sure they're getting the property alerts for what they're searching for and market updates for the areas. This is going to keep you in their inbox even more. Then you have your accounting. I will say this is the biggest piece for me, because if I do this first thing in the morning, I know my expenses, I know the amount of money I need to live comfortably, I stay aware of this, it's helping me set my goals and balancing them against my budget, it tracks my results, and I know what's in my pipeline and the GCI I have coming in. And the reason this is motivating for me is because I look at this in the morning and that shapes somewhat of my day. Do I really need to hit lead generation hard today, or do I really need to push marketing today? So I recommend doing this every single morning. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out thing, but you've got to know your accounting, your expenses, what you're bringing in, what you're putting out, what you need to bring in, how many sales you need to get there. That's very important. And then education. You're not going to grow if you're not continuously learning. You're not going to wake up one day, know everything there is to know about marketing, lead generation, business management at all. So you need to take the time to invest in training yourself and educating yourself on the different facets of business. You cannot be complacent, exactly what it says right here. Do not be complacent. The world of business, and even more so the world of real estate, is constantly evolving. If you look back 10, 15 years ago, social media and lead generation was not even something like we had heard of. And so why it's important to constantly evolve is because we want to make sure that we are ahead of the times. And we can only do that by educating ourselves. For instance, I may not necessarily want to go to a training and learn how to use LinkedIn to help me generate leads, but I know that that's a part of business in which I can evolve. So I'm going to take that training, and whether I implement it or not is completely up to me, but at least I know. That way, if I'm ever evolving in that direction, I can fix it. So daily, these are daily things you guys should be doing. If you're doing this every single day, what happens is you are working your business and your business is not working you. That's what we want to happen. We want to be able to work our business so that we can have structure. One of my coaches said one time, are you being reactive or are you being proactive? And this is exactly what that means. If I am letting my business work me, I am reacting all day to what's going on. Whereas if I'm working my business, I'm being proactive and I'm controlling the way my day goes. It's crucial that you have a daily to-do list. It really is. These 5 areas, work on them daily. It doesn't mean you have to work on them for hours and hours and hours. Even if you say, you know what, I have an hour in the morning, I'm going to break these 5 areas up and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on each area so that I know I hit them. The important thing is that you're hitting them each day. And what you're going to find is if you're doing these things, it's organically going to create other tasks for you to do, right? So a big thing I hear is, you know, I do social media and now I don't know what to do. I took the training and I don't know what to do. If you're doing these things consistently and you're doing them, you know, every day, they're going to create more things for you to do. So for instance, when I get on the computer and I do this every single morning, right? Inevitably, one of 2 things happens. My marketing creates another idea in my mind and I start working on that, or I start to have leads come in, or I have a lead that finally picks up the phone and we're ready to go see houses and I'm scheduling them today. This is what I mean when I say results are not random. They're coming in from the back end of the work that you put in up front. So you really need to make sure that you're being intentional every single day, that you have a business plan. How does your business look each and every day? And if you're not working on these 5 areas every single day, what I want to point out is you're pretending. And I hate to be blunt like that, but you're pretending. Pretending like you're busy is going to be a lot harder than actually being busy. So the question I propose is, which one are you? Are you the pretender? Are you the person going through your day-to-day, reacting to everything, wondering why you're not going anywhere and working on 1 or 2 areas of your business, pretending to be that business owner? Or are you the iceberg, the one where everybody sees how successful you are, but they don't see what went on underneath the surface? Persistence in these 5 key areas. Failing sometimes, because there's going to be days you're like me where you're like, I don't want to do it today. And you know it's bad, but that's okay. Give yourself a break when you need it, but continue to try. Sacrificing, right? Yeah, you're going to be doing these 5 things and you're sacrificing. You're sacrificing time at the gym, maybe. You're sacrificing getting up and getting ready in the morning. You're sacrificing a phone call. You're sacrificing spending time with friends, but that sacrifice is going to be worth it. You've got good habits. By making it instilled in your head every single day, these are what I'm going to be working on. What happens, even if you skip a day, it becomes habit. Hard work. It's not easy to continue to do this. It's not easy to persevere when things aren't immediate results. And then dedication, being dedicated to the business that you chose to grow. That is important. You've got to realize you've got into this to be a business owner, and you've got to treat it like a business. You cannot treat it like a hobby. You cannot pretend to be busy and be successful. You cannot leave out one component of that car engine, or you're going to be worried the entire time on your journey whether you're going to break down or not. So my question to you today is to really be honest with yourself. Are you the pretender, or are you going to be the iceberg? And how are you going to get there? How are you going to build these 5 key steps into everything that you do every single day?